Hello, this is the group presentation for Group 20. Our group basically focused on the question of understanding the impact of COVID-19 on the US job market. And let's first introduce the background. The COVID-19 pandemic has a profound impact on public health and the global economy. The project aims to explore to what extent COVID-19 has impacted US job market. And the project starts by answering the basic question of whether COVID-19 has a positive or negative effect. So our research questions are, is the employment rate decreasing or increasing? What caused the tremendous increasing or decreasing? Whether there exists an industry who stands out from the general trend, is that industry experiencing an increase or decrease? If there is such an industry, why? How will the job market future be like? So our hypothesis is the COVID-19 pandemic has led to dynamic changes in employment rates across different industry, with some sectors experiencing significant declines, while others may show some growth. So the timeline of these changes will influenced by the implementation or relaxation of lockdown policies and other major political events. Furthermore, certain industry may deviate from the general employment trend either positively or negatively due to their unique circumstances and adaptability to the pandemic's challenges. So we just have one data set, and the data set will have four attributes: the post date, and the state, industry, and count ID indexed. So this is the first graph we did. This right dot line is representing when the count ID index is equal to 1. So as we know, if the count ID index is greater than 1, then there will be a increase in the job listing. If it is smaller than 1, then there will be a decrease in job listing. So in the graph, you also find two picks. The first pick is here. This is for the construction industry, which we saw the context ID index to be 3 around the end of November. This happens because the US presidential election happens on November 3rd, 2020. So it's a presidential campaign until then. The Trump administration will lean toward business when it comes to infrastructure projects. So that's why there will be a peak for construction industry. And the third pick is here. This happens on July 9th. Johnson and Pfizer reported that both their vaccines were effectively against COVID variants, including the highly contagious Delta variant. It took some time for the job market to react, but overall, we can see an increasing trend and result in a 500% increase in the unique job listings. This is the animation we did for the general trend of the US job market, responding to each state. So as you can see from September 2020 to December 2020, the general trend of the US job market is decreasing. This is the animation we did just for the construction industry corresponding to each state. So as you can see, the construction industry in each state was different from September. At the beginning of September, this job listings growth speed in different states vary a lot. Western states like California and Washington clearly had more job listing than other states. After that, starting from November 9th, the job listing growing speed between each state were almost the same. And from September 9th to December 30th, 2020, the job listing in most states began to decrease. We also like to forecasting what the future will be like. So this is a graph forecasting the average industry job list in the US. We cleaned the data, we dropped the top 1% of the data as outlier and trained the remaining 99% of data using Facebook profit as our model. So this model concludes that a relative magnitude is below the tolerance and give us a Bob prediction, which is expecting a 30% to 110% growth in the next year. We also predict the construction industry for next year. We clean the data. I also dropped the top 5% as outliers and forecasting using the remaining 99% of the data. So there will be a 400 to 800 growth for next year. Comparing the general trend, the data of construction shows more variance, and this is why our prediction for construction has higher deviation. So our conclusion is, as we use the profit forecast model, we expect the average number of job openings across all industry to increase 30 to 110% next year. In fact, for the construction industry, we forecast 400 to 800 increase over the same period. Our analysis will also show regional differences in the number of job openings in western and southern states. Vacancy rates have declined more than in other regions of the United States. In the construction industry, employment growth is fastest on the West Coast, East Coast, and some central states in the U.S. states. In summary, the COVID-19 pandemic has had a strong impact on employment levels in the United States across all industry. While the initial shock resulted in many job losses, the labor market has shown reliance and adaptability. Projections of job growth, particularly in industries such as construction, hospitality, and tourism. However, recovery is not uniform across the industry or regions, highlighting the need for targeted policy interventions and support mechanisms to help those who continue to struggle.